So for all the people out there that are wondering, is this a good time to get involved in crypto? Should I be buying right now? Well, from a long-term perspective, yes. I mean, historically, this is a great time to be buying. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Svenson, and today we're going to be talking about the price of Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is currently trending to the upside and seeing strong bullish movements. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, definitely follow me on Twitter. I made a post recently. I said, the crypto community has been feeling very euphoric recently, but that does not concern me. The core community within the crypto industry is going to be euphoric when prices rise. If you think you're feeling euphoric, just wait for the actual pump. Now, of course, this is an extremely bullish statement. Most of my viewers should know by now that I am very focused on the long term, on the macro trend. And this statement is really discussing just that, the macro trend. A lot of people are feeling very euphoric, thinking that, how much higher can Bitcoin go? Well, historically speaking, especially when you're looking at halving periods, well, things can go much, much more bullish. And before we get started, guys, the CryptoWatch platform is the platform that you see me use in all my videos, and you can actually trade off of all the top exchanges directly from your price charts. I have multiple tutorials below. Definitely check those out. Now let's get started on the Bitcoin analysis. Right now, I'm looking at Bitcoin on the daily chart. We can see that on June 25th, we found our blow off top just below 14,000. Ever since then, for the past 6 months, for the past half a year, we've been on a downtrend. We've only seen lower lows and lower highs. Recently, though, Bitcoin did actually exit this trajectory. It exited this price channel. This previous resistance has actually become a new support area, rallied up, came back to just below 9,100 and rallied again. So we are officially trending above the price channel. We officially have a bullish trend above the price channel. Another really bullish signal right now for Bitcoin is that if you map out the support areas of the descending triangle, you can see that, these previous support areas turned resistance. And now if you look closer, you can see that it was resistance here on our last high, but that resistance has now turned into support. So the price just created a higher low within the vicinity of the descending triangle support area. And we are now trending into that previous range where we were consolidating here bearishly for many months. And we are currently trending into this area. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that Bitcoin is currently seeing a pretty steady resistance level here. Sellers are consistently selling into this resistance line right now. And this is actually putting us in a rising wedge pattern. And rising wedge patterns can sometimes have a bearish result. We have not yet actually broken above resistance, right? So the price action is beginning to tighten along this resistance here and along this support here. So this is what's creating the rising wedge. Of course, if Bitcoin breaks above the resistance and builds support, then we could continue higher and we could be, of course, breaking above our previous macro high. And this would, for me, confirm that Bitcoin is absolutely entering a longer term bull market. Another tweet I made recently was that when Bitcoin and crypto are truly bullish, things move violently to the upside and it becomes extremely dangerous to be a bear. Ride the trend, don't fight it. So even though I'm discussing a rising wedge pattern, which could end up being a bearish pattern, that's not to say to be bearish. I'm not at all saying be bearish on Bitcoin. In all of my videos for the past many months, actually, even since the summer when I was calling downside targets, I was saying overall, I do think that Bitcoin is in a macro bull trend. So by any means, I am not saying to be bearish on Bitcoin. It's extremely dangerous to be bearish on Bitcoin when you're entering a bull market. Based on my long-term analysis on the halving cycle, I do think that Bitcoin is going to be, remaining very bullish going through the year of 2020. So, in my opinion, it's very important to have core positions in the crypto market. It's very important to make sure that you have positions. Even if you're trading, swing trading, margin trading, I would say it's a good idea to have core positions in the market that you can ride no matter what the market is doing. And that's the easiest way to make sure that you're going to survive this and not, do too much risky plays doing margin trading, so on and so forth. I want to now take a look at the weekly chart for Bitcoin. So one thing to keep in mind is Bitcoin is programmed money, right? It is programmed to work in a certain way. Bitcoin is inflationary. There are more and more Bitcoins being released into the market, but the inflation decreases over time. So that creates more scarcity and it does create demand in the market. In all the previous halving cycles, Bitcoin does see a steady increase in demand where we have Bitcoin remaining above an upward sloping trend in both halving cycles. And, on all of these parabolic advances in the past for the halving cycle, we end up retesting the high. We end up coming up to resistance and consolidating below resistance, right? In this area as well, we come up to resistance. We consolidate just below resistance, our previous high. In this area as well, we come up to, consolidate around the resistance area. And right now, we're entering the halving cycle. And if you just mark up, the potential trend that Bitcoin is on, if we were to do something similar where we remain above a steady upward sloping trend. Right now, Bitcoin is still well below our top resistance area. We're nowhere near our high right now. And, in the past, previous resistance here would become support on the next test to the downside. If you see that right there, previous resistance becomes support on this test, and that's how we create the upward sloping trend. Previous resistance here becomes support, and that's how we continue the upward sloping trend during the halving cycle. And right now, Bitcoin is nowhere near that high. Now, Bitcoin doesn't have to follow this type of pattern, but, in my opinion, eventually Bitcoin is going to be rallying up to a high point and probably creating support along the upward sloping trend before continuing bullish. Even though Bitcoin has been rallying up recently, and we've just seen a straight shot to the upside. Theoretically, Bitcoin still has a lot of upside potential. So for all the people out there that are wondering, is this a good time to get involved in crypto? Should I be buying right now? Well, from a long-term perspective, yes. Historically, this is a great time to be buying. Just keep your eye on the long term because crypto is very volatile. And things usually don't go exactly how you want them, but the halving cycle is historically a very bullish time for Bitcoin. We could be seeing some consolidation within this range. And no matter what happens, guys, after your first parabolic advance within a halving cycle, it's usually, historically, this is always a great time to be buying Bitcoin, right? We've only seen one parabolic advance. And if you're in this for the long term, well, the opportunity is here, and we are confirming that we are in an uptrend. We have our bear market low right here, and we have our new high right here. So Bitcoin is seeing higher highs. Major market participants are putting in higher lows within the crypto market. And of course, across the board, you can see that you're looking at Ethereum on the weekly chart. We have a major higher low here now, breaking above the 21-week EMA. Historically, the 21-week EMA was a major support line during the bull market. Bitcoin Cash also seeing a breakout above the 21-week EMA, seeing major higher low. Litecoin also seeing a major higher low, breaking above the 21-week EMA. So a lot of these altcoins, guys, are also seeing incredible gains right now, and you're actually getting confirmed major market structure, right? We're seeing a higher low here. This is good market structure for these top altcoins. And, of course, once we get above our resistances for these altcoins, then this is when you enter true bull market territory. For Bitcoin right now, the key thing here would be to get that, to either just push up to new highs and consolidate above resistance and continue up, or to, see more sideways, maybe we get a little bit more upside, see some sideways action, break above that, test the highs, come back to support, and then rally out above 20,000, above the all-time high. This is the type of market action that Bitcoin routinely sees during the halving cycle, right? And we are in our first parabolic advance within the halving cycle. So traditionally, guys, this is a very bullish time for Bitcoin. Regardless of what happens in the short term, this is a really bullish time to be involved in crypto. I see a lot of new people in crypto trying to trade the market, and they're all really focused on short-term moves, and they get really scared about short-term moves, guys. But make sure you keep an eye on the long term. If you want to survive in the crypto market, keep your eye on the long term, right? But that's going to be it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, sign up for the Cryptowatch platform. That is the platform that you see me use in all my videos. Follow me on Twitter. Also, if you want to directly support the channel, be sure to join the Patreon. Become a patron. You get some extra content there. And soon in the Patreon, I'm going to be discussing what altcoins I'm buying and, building an experimental altcoin portfolio. So if you want insight on that, definitely join the Patreon. And I will see you guys in the next video.